Welcome back to Under the Radar, and wasn't that beautiful? Our guest is Fatima RCTV.
Yes.
And Fatima, could you first of all tell me, what is the inspiration for Not Alone, your first song? I absolutely loved it.
Thank you. Well, it was actually a very hard time I was going through, and I had stopped talking to this guy that I was dating, and I just felt completely alone. And I just came out. I'm not really sure. It was just a low point, I guess. And then Sandy happened 2 weeks later, and then I've been singing it for that and trying to tell people to donate money to Red Cross. So.
Ooh, good plug.
Yeah.
That was just what was recent. How long
Yes.
ago did you write the song then?
I wrote it on September 18th. I remember because it was my mom's birthday. So.
Wow. Okay, so I hear that you're not originally from here. Where are you originally from?
No, I am from Bosnia. I was born and raised in Bosnia. Came to the U.S. when I was 16. So, and I've been in Rochester for most of that time. And
wow. How did you, why Rochester?
My sister was here, and so I had family, so I came here.
What school did you go to here in Rochester?
Wilson Magnet. I graduated from Wilson Magnet and RIT.
All right, great. And are you doing your music full time?
No, unfortunately, no. It would be nice. I just started a new job, so I'm in analytics. Something very different from songwriting.
All right, great. Now, when did you know that you were music was going to be your passion?
It's always been my passion, but I've always been a closet singer. I'm the person in the car screaming, you know, and I just wave to people. But it was about a couple years ago where I just said, you know, I'm not happy with the job and everything, and I just want something more. And I started doing stuff, and ever since then, I've been writing and, you know, performing, and I was horrible at first. I was nervous, a nervous wreck.
Well, you didn't seem it tonight at all.
Well, there's not that many people here, so that's a good thing.
Now, is there music in your family? Are any of your siblings, any of your parents or grandparents? Is there?
You know, that's interesting, because my dad, only a few years ago, said that when he was younger, he thought he had a talent, but he didn't really do anything with it. So I think that's the only thing. Other than that, my dad doesn't really do anything professionally or anything. Like nobody.
Nothing musical.
Yeah, nobody in my family that I know of.
Do you play other instruments?
No, I started keyboard like a few years ago, and I bought it when Chase Pitkin was still open. Remember that? A long time ago.
Yeah.
A long time ago. It was sitting in my basement for years.
You have been here a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was sitting in my basement, and then I just decided, you know what, I can afford piano lessons. I'm just going to get some, and I started taking piano lessons, and I guess the rest is history, sort of.
Oh my gosh. Now, where can we see you play, or where can we get your music?
Usually I'm on the open mic circuit, so Tuesdays there's Love and Cup, that's a plug, beautiful place. Wednesdays I am on Boulder in South Wedge.
Yeah.
Thursdays Firehouse Saloon, also in the South Wedge. So there's all the open mics. There's a few others too.
What would you say, what category or how would you describe your music?
People ask me that all the time, and I kind of tell them it's soul, poppy soul. I'm not really sure because it just comes out, and I don't really know how
You're not trying to fit in a particular genre.
Right. I don't really know what I'm supposed to fit in because I don't ask myself when I write the song, what is this supposed to be? I just let it come out. It just comes out through me somehow. I don't really know.
So well, I'm not going to ask you how old you are, but what are your future plans or dreams? Where do you see yourself? Of course, this is a typical question. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now.
Well, it would be nice if I could do music full time. That would be a fabulous thing to do. You know, I'd like to continue writing and continue improving, you know, and on my piano skills and everything. Just go out and open circuit, you know, open mic circuit, and just kind of enjoy, I guess. I'd like to make that full time. That would be the ideal. Backup plan, analytics. So
those are so different. Is there anything in common with? Because they say music and science and math have something in common.
Right. It is very mathematical, but my inspiration for writing, there's no science to it. It's just like love. You can't describe love with, you sort of try to, but when you fall in love with somebody, you can't really describe that with numbers.
Right.
You know, you can't say, well, this is why you fall in love. It just happens. And so it's very different, but it has helped me sort of, the two have helped me in the other areas, you know, because the creative side sort of comes out in my analytics with ideas, and the logical part, which is everything I've learned at RIT, you know, a very logical, technologically based school. So that sort of comes out.
Yeah. Now, do you have, who would we know, famous artists, are some of your influences?
Well, let's see. I'm big on the UK invasion these days. So Adele, we have Leanne La Havas, we have Ed Sheeran, but Alicia Keys, is fabulous. Jill Scott. We have to put in some U.S.
Some of
artists.
my favorites. I just absolutely love your music. And if you could just tell us when, again, we could see you at Love and Cup, you said, and where else?
Next Tuesday. I'm coming over strep throat, so I was worried today. I called my doctor and I said, can I sing? She goes, yes, you can. Just take an Advil, you'll be fine. So, yeah, it's Love and Cup on Tuesdays, Boulder on Wednesdays, and Firehouse Saloon is, and they're all great places to very acceptive audiences, and you have a lot of fun. You come out, you just, see local artists, and usually, it's very fun. You see very different things, and if you're open-minded, and you enjoy music of any sort, it's a fun place to be at.
Let me ask you this. Being a female, I always think about this, what challenges do you have, or are there any, that you've run across in trying to proceed, maybe even in Rochester, or just with a musical career, period?
Not really. I haven't thought of any. There is, I don't want to fall into the category where I have to take off my clothes for people to, pay attention to me. So I don't think, I think that's one thing, but I'm not. Yeah, we're not. I'm not into that. So I think maybe that. But other than that, I haven't really come. Usually artsy people are very open-minded. It's not really.
You felt like you've hit walls or anything. No. What about Rochester, New York? What can you tell me that you like about Rochester? Maybe connected to music, maybe not connected to music. How do you feel about Rochester as a city?
As far as music is concerned, before I knew about open mics, I did not know that this was a big music town. But it is. There's music everywhere.
That's good to hear, yeah.
There's live music everywhere. And once you get in the clique, you sort of know all of these people that are, every open mic you go to, you're going to see somebody you know. So that's the great thing. You can always call on people and say, hey, I need this, I need help with that, or with music. So it's good for collaboration. It's good for working with other artists. And it's just good for, people support you. If they're in the same place as you are, they'll support you.
Yeah, okay. Well, just, I suppose, one last question about Rochester. What do you think about our winters?
They're very cold. I don't like scraping my car off. That is not my favorite thing to do.
Do you think that you'll end up staying here for the rest of your career?
I never envisioned myself that way, but I suppose I've been here a very long time.
Yes, and we actually have to go. We're going to have to wrap it up. Thank you, Fatima, so much for coming out tonight. It was great that we got a performance from you tonight.